Hey, Nikki Brown here. No matter where you are, what part of the world you're in, I hope that you're having a good day. So, this is another On the Couch chat with Nikki Brown, aka Shalethia Nicole. So, right now, I'm going to talk about dating and relationships, right? And what I'm going to talk about, yes, it can apply to women. Yes, women can do the same things to men, and I realize that. But right now, I'm talking about women and what they experience, right? Because I'm a woman, I date men. That's what I'm going to talk about, okay? Um, Maybe another time I'll talk about what men experience. Maybe, maybe not. Um, so again, this is advice for the ladies. Um, you can tell when a man is taking you seriously, right? He shows up, he shows out, he's consistent, he's attentive, he's asking questions, he really wants to get to know you. He wants to take you out, even if he doesn't have a lot of money. There are lots of things you can do for free or inexpensively. So he'll come up with some creative ideas to spend time with you. Not at his house, not at your house, right? He'll want to take his time to get to know you because he's really being serious about you, right? If a man is not being serious about you, he will be very inconsistent, right? He won't call all the time. He may call once a week, once every other week, once a month. He will do more texting than he will calling. He's just trying to test the waters, keep you dangling on the string so that when he's ready to pull you up, he can play around with you and then put you back down, right? Um, he will know what he wants, you know, and again, he won't waver because if he really wants to be with you, he will be consistent. Now, some men will be consistent until they get what they want and then they fall back. So you do have to be careful and mindful that some people do play mind games. And yes, again, I know that women do the same things too, but I'm not talking about women right now, right? Um, but if a man really wants to be with you, um, he will show you. He will be patient. Um, he won't try to rush you. Because a lot of times when a man tries to rush a woman into sex, he's trying to manipulate her. Thinking, it's funny because some men think they really have some magic stick or magic wand that as soon as they have sex with a woman, she's going to be all over him and then he can manipulate her. But that doesn't always work for some women, right? There are a lot of confident women who love themselves and have self control. And even if they have sex with a guy, if he's not right for her, she will still dismiss and discard him. She may even use him for sex to get what she wants, be knowing that he's not the right man for her. Right? But she, she may be in a position where she feels like she has needs and she wants her needs satisfied. So she'll just use you for sex. Just like men use women for sex, women do the same thing. Right? Um, and she'll throw you back. And then that bruises a man's ego, especially if he thought that he was going to be the one to do that to her. Right? Because all women don't get mesmerized just because they had sex. All the D's are the same. Some are short, some are long, some are fat, some are skinny, some curve to the left, some curve to the right. Right? But, you know, a woman can use her thumb to satisfy herself. And, a thumb's not very big, right? But she'll get there. She'll get there faster than some men could get her there. So it's really not about the size, it's about what you're doing to get there, and she can get herself there. But again, if you're not the type of man that she wants to be with, she will use you as a tool to help her get there, and then she'll discard and dismiss you, just like some men do. And again, this bruises a man's ego because he's not expecting that. At the same time, this makes some men want to be with the women. Not all, because some will just pretend that they don't care and they'll move on to the next woman. But some, it makes them want to marry this woman or be in a relationship with this woman because they can't believe that she didn't call him, blow up his phone, chase him, and sweat him after he gave her some D. But again, all women are not the same. And it's best to get to know her instead of just assuming that she's like other women that you've dated. Right? Same thing for you ladies, right? It's better to get to know him before you have sex with him. Because for some women, we do get emotional and your judgment can be clouded and it can be harder to get rid of him once you realize that he's not the right one for you. If and when you realize he's not the right one for you, right? Because now there's an attachment there. Especially if you're a very spiritual person, those spiritual attachments can be very deep. Um, I just say, as always, as I always say this, just take your time to get to know someone. Again, there are lots of places you can go that are inexpensive or free, like the park. You can go for a walk in the park and get to know someone. You don't have to go to their house because then you become the come over and chill girl, right? And again, that means he's not, 9 times out of 10, that means he's not serious about you or he's immature and he's just not the right man for you. And date a man that's on your level. You know, I know Michelle Obama, she dated potential. Barack maybe didn't have a car. I don't know if he had a car, but I know he wasn't an attorney yet. He was still in school. She was already an attorney. Um, and, she still gave him a chance and dated him. She made him wait a long time because she wasn't interested at first, but eventually she did give him a chance. And, we know how that story goes. But 9 times out of 10, whoever a person is when you meet them, they're going to stay that same way. So when somebody shows you who they are, believe them the first time. You can pay attention to his potential, but also pay attention to his actions. If he doesn't have a car, maybe that's not so bad. But if he's independent, like, oh, I don't need you to take me, you know, I'm going to get on the train, I'm going to get on the bus, I'm going to take an Uber. I'm going to do what I normally would do until I get on my feet. That's one thing. But if he's like, oh, well, just go ahead and take my car. I'm like, if you're like, oh, just go ahead and take my car. And he's like riding around in your car. Maybe even has other women in your car. He's sitting home. He's all day not, playing video games. He doesn't cook. He doesn't clean up. He's not helpful to you at all. This is probably not the best option for you. Now, I know that some women want to control men. They want someone who's codependent. They just want to be able to say that they have a man, and I get that. But after a while, that usually gets old because you want somebody who's going to contribute. You want someone who's going to take care of you. You want someone who's really going to be there for you and be there with you. But again, I know that some people just deal with, you know, what they can get just to say that they have somebody. But if you're not that type of person and you want more of a relationship, then maybe you shouldn't date potential. You should date someone who has the same things you have. So if you have a car, you should probably date someone who has a car. If you have a house and he doesn't have a house, but he has his own place, right? But if you have a house and he's willing to come and take over the bills, help do the repairs around the house. Um, and again, contribute, help cook if he knows how to cook, or at least be willing to order takeout or take you out. If he's willing to help do laundry, at least do his own laundry and wash dishes and help, do the chores around the house. This is somebody that you could work with or build a relationship with. But if he's not willing to do all those things and he just wants to be taken care of, he wants you to do all the cooking, all the cleaning, and he still wants you to have sex with him, and he may or may not work, he may or may not be able to keep a job, you're not equally yoked. He may or may not even have a car, but really, he's like your son, and you're taking care of him. And if you don't want to take care of a grown man, that's probably not somebody that you want to date. Also, be careful about the men who say, "Oh, well, maybe you could cook me something to eat." Maybe you got it fucked up. If he immediately says, "Maybe you can make me something to eat," he's not trying to take you out. That means he really doesn't want to take you out. He doesn't want to get to know you. He wants you to be to come over and chill, girl. Whether he comes to your house to chill or you go to his house to chill. Because cooking somebody to eat, eventually, he's gonna end up trying to rub on you and sleep with you and discard you, or just use you for what he wants, which is somebody to, you know, take care of him or be his mother figure. Again, he's not trying to take you out and get to know you. Then there are some men, because they've been hurt or jaded by women, they want the woman to um, do for them before they'll do for her. That's not how that's supposed to go. You should not have to prove yourself to a man. He needs to heal, right? Whatever he went through in a previous relationship has nothing to do with you. You don't have to make up for it. You don't have to heal him through it. You're not a counselor unless you went to school for that. You're not his counselor or his therapist. And I do have a life coaching certification. However, that's not what I'm here for, right? I'm not here to, Now, that's not to say we can't help heal each other. But again, if he's trying to validate himself by having you basically chase him, right? He's trying to make you pursue him. Like they say that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. So he's trying to get you to do for him so that he doesn't feel like he's being used or played. But the thing that some men don't realize is that women will use sex and women will use food to manipulate a man if she doesn't really like him and she has an agenda. So if he has an agenda and she has an agenda, neither one of them really like each other because they're not even taking the time to get to know each other. They're just using the tools or the skills that they have. And by tools, I mean vagina and D, right? They're just using the tools and skills that they have to get what they want from the other person. That's not how that works. That's not how any of this works, right? It's best to get to know someone. Ask those get to know you type questions and take your time. What's the rush? If this is somebody that you really like and you want to be with this person and build a relationship with this person, why do you need to rush? They say that a man knows within 3 dates or 3 months whether or not he wants to marry a woman and build a relationship with her. So, sure, you can take a year. You can take maybe 6 months. Maybe say you work together. You laugh and joke at work, getting to know each other, right? Then maybe 6 months down the line, he asks you out. And you go out and you start working on, maybe having a relationship. And then within 90 days, he'll know whether or not he wants to be with you. But if he had been watching you for 6 months, he pretty much already knows. He just wants to see if it's going to work out, right? Like someone that I spoke to, and I'm speaking from experience, right? Someone that I talked to, he wasn't trying to get to know me outside of what I could do for him. Oh, do you know how to cook? Yeah, I know how to cook. And then it's like, oh, how come you never cook? I cook all the time. So then there's silence because now you don't know how to respond because you're expecting. This is manipulation, right? By the way, because you're expecting a different response so that you can, reply with your follow up. But then when someone doesn't respond the way you think, it goes silent, right? Um, or I share that I have my own business and I make products. You never ask about what I do in my business, right? Then you offer to buy me. So you see some homeless guy who's selling body wash and carrying on, and you're like, oh, you want some body wash? And I'm like, no, I make my own. And he's like, what do you mean? If he had been getting to know me, he would know exactly what I mean. Why would I want body wash from the store when I make my own? And even if it was like Equate from Walmart, I don't want that. And no offense, to each his or her own, because I know a lot of people probably use it. I don't. I use natural products. So even if I bought something from the store, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be something natural. And it'll probably be because I'm going on a trip or something. But even still, I usually bring what I make, right? It's www.circa2009.com. This is the website I use to sell my products on Etsy. And I have lots of reviews. You can go and read the reviews, and I've gotten lots of compliments on how good the product is. So this is what I use. I don't get that sticky film on my skin. Um, I get a good deep clean. Um, and it's not as drying again because of the products that I use in my body wash. So you're like, he's like, oh, well, I don't understand what you mean. And so again, I said, no, I don't want that because I make my own. And he's like, I don't understand what you're trying to say. You don't understand what I'm trying to say because you're not really trying to get to know me. All you want to know is what I can do for you, but men will do little things like buy you something insignificant like body wash or a teddy bear to make you think that they really like you and that they're into you as a way to be manipulative so that eventually they can get what they want. If a man really likes a woman, though, again, he pursues her, he pays attention to her, he asks her questions, he wants to know about her and her life, and if he can fit in that life, if he can help her. And that's not to say that you have to merge businesses or that he has to be a part of your business if you have one, but he'll at least be interested in knowing. And in my mind, why would you not want someone who makes a product that you don't have to buy from the store anymore? He never asks, oh, what do you make? Can I try it? Can you give me a sample? Can I buy something from you? Never. That's a red flag. Because again, all he wanted to know, oh, can you cook? Oh, you clean? Oh, you used to have your own cleaning business, so that means you know how to clean up and wash clothes? So it was all about what I could do for him. And again, not getting to know me, not getting to know what I like, what I do or anything. Just what can I do? What can you do for me? Because I don't cook, I don't clean up, I don't do laundry. So let me. buy you this body wash from the homeless man and spend these couple dollars so you can really think that I like you so that you can cook and clean up after me. And I can sit here with the remote and watch football. And I end up calling the person out on it. So he said that I made him feel like he was walking on eggshells. But when you get someone to leave you alone, it works out better because um, they feel, you know, justified. And they may go and lie on you and spread rumors about you because you bruised their ego. They weren't expecting that. A lot of men are used to women who are desperate and say, "Oh, why didn't you call me? Oh, I'll cook for you." I remember my ex said, "Oh, you got women out here that as soon as they meet a guy, they bring him a plate. That's their business. I'm not doing that." Mm-mm. If a man is not making an effort in the beginning, he's never going to make an effort. And you'll always be cooking and cleaning up. And again, he'll just, um, you know, be satisfying his own agenda. And you'll be 5 years into the relationship, maybe even married, saying, "How come you never take me out?" Because you never required him to take you out in the beginning. Again, you don't have to go to a fancy restaurant. You could do meet and greets. Right? He could buy you a cup of coffee at Starbucks. But again, this gives you a chance to get to know one another. This gives you a chance to talk to one another. If you go to his house to chill or he comes to your house to chill, you'll be just like a bug in a spider web. And he will eat you alive. And again, you'll be begging, asking, "How come you never take me out? How come you never cook for me? How come you never this and how come you never that? I just want consistency. I just want someone who's going to be there for me. I just want you to show me this, that, and the other." You never required it from the beginning. You were afraid to walk away. And he noticed that. And he took advantage of it. And he manipulated you so he gets what he wants. Because he felt like you were desperate and naive. And that he can take advantage of you. He doesn't want to get to know you because you didn't require him to get to know you. You just let him do whatever he wanted to do. He said, "I like you." You bought him a plate of food. You started showing up at his house. You picked up his dirty clothes, washed his dishes, did his laundry, and gave him sex. What's that saying? Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? If he can get you to do whatever he wants without actually pursuing you, why wouldn't he do that? And why wouldn't he continue to take advantage of that? If that's what type of person he is. Now, if you do, you want that type of person? Because a lot of times we attract who we are and not what we want, right? So how do you do that to other people? How are you doing that to him? Then a lot of times, the woman also has an agenda, right, ladies? And once he marries you, you stop doing everything. You stop having sex with him. You stop cleaning up. So he thought he was manipulating you, and you were behind the scenes running game on him. So you can check that off on your list. Married, check. Living with somebody, check. So he helped you satisfy your checklist. I just say be careful, men and women. Although this was mainly for women, right? Just be careful and be mindful. Um, I think there were some other things that I wanted to say about this topic, but I can't think of them right now because I just kind of went off the top of my head. But there was a point that I wanted to make that was on my mind. So maybe I'll have to do another video. But again, just pay attention to the signs because you can tell whether or not a man is really serious about you. He won't play games about you. He will be very serious. He will do his best to get all of your time and attention. Now, again, be mindful that some people are playing mind games when they do that. What they call it love bombing. They'll love bomb you, especially if this person is a narcissist. So pay attention to those signs as well. And maybe I'll do a topic about, the narcissist showing up in dating. But yeah, just be mindful that people can be manipulative and people can pretend for a really long time until they get what they want. And then once they get what they want, they check up the deuces. But anyway, I hope that this was helpful. Mwah, love y'all. Later.